Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. And hello from Brownsville, Texas. I am sitting in the parking lot of the Loves down here in Brownsville. Some of you that are out here are familiar with where I'm at. They'll have a delivery in the morning, right back behind here. And it is Sunday afternoon, May 1st. Tell you what, coming down here, it's like 90 some odd degrees right now, which seems like a lot hotter than that because I've been in the colder weather lately. Got the generator cranked up, got the AC going, getting it cooled off back there. But I wanted to answer a few questions in this video. But before I do, if you haven't, like, subscribe, hit the notifications. If you're new to the channel, on this channel, I am an expediter, so I cover carrying expedited freight in a Ford Transit van. Some may refer to it as a cargo van, some may refer to it as a Sprinter class van. But in this video, or on this channel I should say, I do cover, ways to make money with your van, whether it be local, regional, over the road. If I don't have the information directly, I will be able to refer you in the right direction. So if that's the kind of content you're interested in, as I said, hit the bell notification so you can get notified when I put out videos. With all that said, let's do it.
Your hustle gotta be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.
All right, so somebody in the comment section asked several questions in one comment. He asked, in a van or a box truck under 10,000 gvwr, are you required to have a DOT or MC number? And he's asking, is it good to do local or interstate loads? He says he has a lot of experience in the delivery industry, but it's only local experience. He's never been on any load boards, and he's kind of interested in seeing how that would work out for him. And he's asking, how long after I drop the load do I get paid? So we'll take the first question first about the being under 10,000. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the exact details as far as like with the interstate. Now, if you're just doing local stuff, like say you're just going and knocking on some doors at some local shops and you're doing some local just transporting stuff, maybe it's from a secondhand store or maybe it's just somebody at a grocery store, whatever it may be, you can get away with it. But if you're trying to actually run your business and be safe and do what you're supposed to do, just to make sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed, what this says as far as interstate, the answer says, well, it says motor passenger carriers interstate would also require an MC number to legally operate. However, intrastate carriers, which means within the state, local stuff, for hire carriers that only exempt commodities and private carriers that carry their own cargo, which means if it's your own stuff, you're exempt from having to have this. But it says you are required to have an MC number. It goes on to say that for intrastate, all you need is your DOT number. You don't need the MC number, the motor carrier number, the operating authority for intrastate. So if you start going to interstate, doing outside of your state, then that's when you're going to want to get the MC number along with the DOT number. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. As I said, intrastate, they're saying you don't need the MC number. Interstate, you do need the MC number. Intrastate, you need the DOT, and interstate, you need the MC and DOT. So, all right, next part of the question: which is better, local loads or interstate loads? Now, that comes down to, there's so many variables there. So it doesn't even come down to anything specific. It's a matter of what fits you best. What have you found best? Like, for local stuff, maybe you have some awesome paying customers that you found locally, and so obviously local, if that's what you're after, is just the bottom dollar. Obviously local is better than the interstate. Now say the interstate makes more money than the local, then obviously interstate is better than local. Now, like for me, it's a combination of the money and the lifestyle itself, as far as just being on the road, being behind the wheel so often, just being out here as living in a van. I enjoy that. So it's everything about it that makes it more valuable to me and makes it better to me. Now, to the next person, they may not like being over the road. They want the local. They want to be home. Which is funny. I was actually come across a channel earlier today where I was watching a guy. He normally does some local stuff, and he did a video on his first over the road load. And I don't know how many miles it was exactly. I'd have to map it out, but I know he was in the San Francisco area, and he delivered down in in Southern California near the border. So he had to stay in his van overnight, and he was all super excited about his first over-the-road load. Then he slept back there, and he wasn't set up for it, and all that good stuff. And the next day, you could see his energy level wasn't as good. He had a couple issues with some things, and he just basically didn't really care for it at that moment. Now, this is a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he's tried anymore, so I don't know where his mind is with that. But just to see how quickly people have a certain idea what over the road is, interstate driving is. But when they get out there and do it, it's not what they envisioned. So it doesn't suit them like they thought it would. So to answer that question, I can't really tell you which one is better, because it's all into the individual. There's so many variables involved, so it's up to the individual. If you find the right money, you like what you're doing, you want to be home, local suits you good. You like being out and about, seeing new places, meeting new people, just being on the road in general, doing the longer distance runs at a time, then obviously the interstate stuff's gonna be best for you. So there's no clear answer as to one is better than the other. It's all up to you. So he had mentioned also about he has experience with local stuff but not on load boards. Now, with that being said, I can definitely tell you that if you go from just doing local stuff and then you're trying to just hop into the over-the-road stuff that involves you bidding on load boards yourself, or you dealing with a dispatch service that is going to call you on all these loads and ask you what you want to bid on them, if you're getting into the interstate stuff to where you are dealing with having to bid your own stuff after all you've done is local, please don't do that without some extensive, research and educating yourself on how that works, because it will just not work out. It will go completely to shit. Now, if you decide you want to try it in the way that you come out and drive for a carrier, because a carrier is different than a dispatch. So with a carrier, they already have the experience of loads. They tell you what they expect of you as far as what they want out of you as far as being in service, what kind of capacity they expect to get out of you as far as with your van, what kind of states that they tend to, drive through. So there's an understanding. So through their experience and their services, they're going to get you the loads. It's basically a forced dispatch, which means they're going to get you a load, they're going to give it to you, you're going to take the load. So that's the ideal way to get the experience and learn how to do, the load bidding and all the other stuff, as opposed to just jumping in from local stuff and jump right in thinking you're just going to jump in there without having anybody to help mentor you along or guide you in some way. So I just wanted to say that because, if you're, obviously it seems like you're interested in getting into it, so I would just, definitely do your research on that. And again, best way is to come out with the carrier to start off. All right, last part of the question is, how quickly do I get paid? Now, I run under my own authority. My brother and I started a business, a motor carrier, where we have our own operating authority. We have our MC DOT number, and so when we do loads for brokers or companies or anything, we factor our loads right now. We do want to get out of that, and that's a subject for another video, but that's what we do for the time being. Now, the factoring pays out within 24 hours of the invoice being sent in, the BOL and the rate con being sent to them. You get your money within 24 hours, unless it's like a Saturday, then you got to wait till Monday or whatnot. But as it's set up, we are set up because we have owner-operators under our authority that we dispatch for. So we have a weekly pay. So right now it's weekly. Even myself, I get it weekly. Now, I mean, if I wanted it different, I could get it different, but there's no sense. It's no sense in making my thing different than everybody else's. So it makes keeping the books more simplified. Just so once a week right now is what I get paid. But the factoring services, they usually pay you within 24 hours of sending your VOL and Raycon in. All right. Hopefully the guy that commented and asked that question is watching this video, and hopefully I answered those questions for you. If anybody has any questions about anything that I just covered, please in the comment section ask, or if you have any kind of information to add to what I said, please put it down there. Again, I try and say it as often as I can. I'm not saying I know everything out here. There's a lot I don't know. There's a lot I do know. So I'm not a know-it-all. And I'm more than happy to learn if somebody's got something to teach me, man. I'm not that guy. So don't be afraid to put some information in the comment section. I'm not going to take it as though you're trying to be an a-hole or anything like that. I'm very receptive of anybody that's got some good information to share with people. So yeah, comment. With that, I am out of here.